The cops throw me against the wall.
Did one of these things,
right? Where they yeah, but very shy. Yeah, no, we need 20.
have my own personal knowledge base, so where we go in to work on something, or be helpful with something, I gotta look and act like I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking
That's great because so much. So those are the basics. So you've got that. You're ahead of. I learned that. You're ahead of.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the program is about to begin. Please find a seat. Thank you. Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neil Tappel. I'm the publisher of LaborPress. And LaborPress is the largest labor news network in the United States. The Daily News and WOR, etc. And to begin the program, it's my pleasure to introduce our host, the President of Teamsters Joint Council 6D and the President of Teamsters Local 282, Thomas Gesualdi. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. Thank everyone for coming today. Thank you for coming to Local 282. This LaborPress event gets bigger and bigger each year with Neil's help here. I want to congratulate all our honorees tonight. congratulations and enjoy. I was an honoree a few years ago. It's a great thing. And just to keep LaborPress moving, it's the voice of labor, as Neil says, and you see the articles that come out in the news and on the radios. It supports labor. There's nothing else out there that supports labor, so that's why this thing is really growing with Neil. So again, afterwards, please finish up the food. There's no way to put it. Eat it up, and I want you all to enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'll turn it back to Neil. Neil, thank you.
This facility is unbelievable. The 282 staff are really incredible. And a special thank you to Teamsters Local 282 Secretary Treasurer Louis Bizignano. Louis, here's Louis. Here's Louis. So Lou provides us with the internal technical support. That means if nobody answers my phone, I call him and he just takes care of it. I don't know how, it's magic. Some kind of magic trick. So recognizing our 10-year sponsors, Gray & Gray, Emblem Health, MagnaCare, GVS, and Schweitzer. And I want to introduce very, very briefly Attorney Robert Gray. Robert, is he still here?
Thank you, Neil. Neil told me a few minutes ago that I'd be asked to make a 30-second speech. I said, well, Neil, I didn't prepare a 30-second speech. He said, well, just say thank you, Neil. So thank you, Neil. And thank you to all the labor leaders and other members of labor in the room. I was at a LaborPress event a few weeks ago where a labor leader said, you know, during the pandemic we were all heroes, and then it comes contract time and all of a sudden now we're not heroes anymore. And what went through my mind was folks in labor are heroes whether it's recognized or not, and whether management remembers it at contract time or not. So thank you all for your work. Thank you, Neil, for putting on this event. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Robert. And we had a committee. I'd like to quickly mention their names. They're not coming up. Joe Masana. Joe put our booklet together. Give Joe a tremendous round of applause. That's Joe Magazine. There he is. And with LabCorp, Joe Palungi. Joe, back here, you will be hearing more about LabCorp. They work with all the, and they are union friendly, and they're working with all the insurance companies, and we will be really coming out with a program to help the members. And I don't know if Jim is here. Jim Lanfranchi with Webster Bank. So I don't know if Jim is here.
I play guard, point guard.
I just want to say I'm truly honored to be here to present to a person that's so worthy of receiving this. As many of the finest labor leaders we have today, he didn't set out to be a labor leader. It wasn't what he intended to do. But at a very pivotal time for Local 12, John saw the need for a dedicated, hardworking, and enthusiastic leader, and he stepped up to meet the challenge. Over the last 5 years, he's done a tremendous job as a business manager of the local, and he's also done a lot of extra work on the side besides the huge task of running a local. He's done everything from orchestrating a budget to and making sure it got followed through on so that the local could turn its finances around and put them in a lot better financial position, to actually being a construction manager for a remodel of their hall that's had problems at every turn, including fighting day in and day out with the building department for New York State, New York. So I just want to say I'm proud to present this to my brother and most of all my friend, John Joey.
I know Neil Neil emailed and says, don't talk too long. But I says, let me write it down, because I said I'll probably forget. But Bob, I really want to thank you for those kind words. They mean a lot coming from you. I also want to congratulate all the other honorees. It's an honor for me sharing this day with all of you. Knowing most of you, I must be doing a good job if I am being honored with you. And we're all faced challenging times here. Our open shop is not going away. Our members have to work better and faster than our non-union counterparts. All of us are here, that are up here, are up for the task. It's not an easy fix, but I think together we can reclaim what the lost market share. I also like to thank my international VP, Jimmy Lister, and his wife, Annette, for making the trip down here from Boston to attend. It means a lot for me that you guys make the drive down here and show support. I also want to thank all the officers and members of Local 12 that came here tonight to support me. What many people don't realize is the time we spend away from our families. The long days in the office, visiting job sites, traveling for our jobs. Even when we're home, we're really not there because we're taking phone calls. Doing this job right requires a lot of sacrifice, and we signed up for this. Our attorney, Chris O'Hara, always says, John, don't complain, you did run for this job. No one ever realizes the impact it has on our families. I would personally like to thank my wife, Susan, for putting up with the craziness that's our work. She deserves the applause. And lastly, I want to thank Neil and LaborPress for honoring myself and the other nominees, and I also like to thank Teamsters Local 82 for hosting us.
Quick announcement, Stephanie West put this entire program together. She's in the back. Where's Stephanie? Stephanie! She puts all the LaborPress programs together, behind the scenes, incredible lady, and beautiful. Beautiful inside and a beautiful person. And her husband's here also helping out, volunteering. Quote, volunteering.
Is James Shalito, who is the president of Local 1-2. He is a 44-year utility worker, and presenting his award tonight will be James Slevin,
The international president.
the international president.
So I don't know what's with the Teamsters. We got to get a little height in here. First of all, Neil, thank you and your staff for everything you do for labor and getting the voice of the worker out there. And congratulations to all the other honorees. Truly, everybody in this room, the sponsors and everybody, are the voice of labor, and I appreciate everything that you do for labor and the working class people. But today, I'm here for my brother and my friend. Jimmy Shalito has spent a good amount of time with me. At times, I think he would have choked me, but as you notice, he's a little shorter and he couldn't reach me, and it was okay.
But I was a lineman, I could
climb. He was a lineman, but honestly, you know, in 2019, I took over the position in the National, and I was the president here in Local 1-2 in New York, and he was by my side during tough times, during lockouts, strike, contract tables, arguments, disagreements, and he never went away from thinking about the most important thing to me, and that's the membership. And, you know, he's lived the values that I have always kind of cherished, and that's the dignity and respect to the working class people. And Jimmy, you know, if anything, they should be giving you even a higher honor. Just being a labor leader is one thing, but being a person, my brother and my friend, is to me the biggest honor I could ever say. So congratulations to be named labor leader from LaborPress.
I took over when Jim moved up to the national position reluctantly. I never wanted to be president. I was happy to be a shop steward. I was happy to be a business agent. I was happy to be a senior agent and as VP. And I'll let you know when I get to be happy as president.
okay? But actually, no, that's not true. I am happy to be president of Local 1-2. I'm proud of it because I have a great membership that I lead, provides the gas, the electric, the steam, the water to this region of New York City and Westchester County. A dangerous job, a job that requires a lot of dedication and a lot of focus in all kinds of conditions and weather. And I'm proud of them. I was one of them then, and I still consider myself one of them. I just have different duties today. But to get done what we've done over the past 3.5 years, which, you know, he made it look easy, this guy. But I gotta say, as many of my officers and I speak of, we haven't had a moment to breathe in the last 3.5 years. You know, I took office a few months before COVID, and then we entered into contract negotiations with Con Ed, which you all know doesn't give you shit, okay? But believe me, we got more than that. So, as I say to my officers, and I truly believe this statement, and I don't want to offend anybody by some of the language I may use, but if you're looking to have me get it done by myself, we're fucked. But if we work together as a team, there isn't anybody that can do better than us. Right. Big smiles to show everybody the strength of our dental plan. Thank you.
Listen, Jim, I'm not nervous, all right, pal? Listen, I wanted to thank Neil, LaborPress, for putting this on. It's great, and honoring these guys and the work they do. I congratulate every one of you guys honorees today. But today I get the privilege to talk to my friend, because that's what it is. He's a friend of mine. He's been my partner since 2016. I've been working with him since 2012. He's a guy that shows up every day, fights for his members, fights for working people. He's the face, he's the voice for Local 7. I couldn't ask for better, to be honest with you, as a partner. Even when things are down, this guy always has a sense of humor to put a smile on your face. So Neil, I'm sure he's going to give you a little shot today. You don't put a smile on your face, but listen, he's a friend. And I'm so grateful. So I'll keep it short, and I'll introduce Billy.
Patty's 100% right about everything he just said. But I'd like to thank Neil, LaborPress, 282 for having this event. Neil is a guy I've probably been hiding on for the past 5 or 6 years. Every time I say Neil, I'm like, oh man, here comes this pain in the ass again. What's he going to ask me?
Congratulations. Told me that other, except for the next honoree, that I am the toughest negotiator that he's ever seen. Our next honoree, Chris Silvera, IBT Local 808, Secretary, Treasurer. And the presenter for Chris will also be Chris Williamson, IBT Local 804 Vice President. Chris and Chris.
Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. First thing is, I want to thank everybody for coming out. If you look at this world today, we do need unions. So we need each and every one of y'all out there. The time is now. You see Amazon fighting, Starbucks fighting. We need to bring New York City back. I've known New York City to be a union town. And like the man said out there before, he can't do it by himself. He needs all of us. And with that being said, I met this man about 20 years ago, Chris Silvera. And just listen to him talk and the knowledge that he was dropping that day. And it was in one of his classes. After I left his class, I came back to New York City ready to fight. I came back to build the future, which is the young brothers and sisters. But I had to stop calling them immature, and knuckleheads, because 34 years, I was those immature knuckleheads. Now I'm the vice president of Local 804 to the next era. I got my young guy, Lawrence Grant, who's I'm grooming to come up. We have to reach out to these young brothers and sisters. And that's something that Chris Severa has always been doing for Metro North. And the funny thing is, I'm 804, he 808. So that shows you that you don't have to be a member of 808 for him to educate. He educated me, all right? He's the longest serving principal officer for the IBT, Chris Severa.
Good evening. Well, did it turn off the mic? I couldn't hear a thing. Hey, where are the tile guys? Doesn't it seem like the tiles in here need to be redone? I don't know, I just thought, oh, you done left the room already. I think you guys should put in a bid on this job right here. Never in history has the union been more important than it is today.
Chris, you got to take the mic hold of the older.
I don't have to do a damn thing.
Okay. Because they're not hearing it.
Never in history has the union been more important than today. And it ain't about the building trades. It ain't about the railroad. It ain't about 804 UPS. It's about every single worker, whether they're in a union or not. We are the vanguard organization. We pave the way. We bring people up. So even the ones that's not in a union, every time we step up, we pull them up. We have work to do. I was at a rally the other day, and quite a few, and I don't see a lot of unions there. And we could talk a lot of smack, but we won it in the street and lost it in the boardroom. We need to get back in the street. We need to fight. We need to build mobilization. We need to shake off this Democratic Party. We need to shake off this Republican Party. We need to invest in our members, in the working class, and move forward. Because we keep worrying. I'm going to tell you a little piece of story right now. You all hear about the railroad. Railroad's going on strike. Railroad's not going on strike. What's happening with the railroad? You're going to see how friendly Democrats are to the working class. Because I guarantee you today, how many people in here got a legislative guy? I know some of you big guys here got legislative reps. You all need to call Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, or whomever, and tell them no bill goes on the table that does not give a railroad worker sick days. Because these guys are working in the rain, summer, winter, they're outdoors all day without a sick day in 2021 in the United States of America. That's deplorable. And we have the power to make a phone call, to call Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and whomever else is down there, and say nothing goes that don't give these guys some sick days. The second piece is the Million Worker March. 2004, we had a Million Worker March. It was so wonderful, the march was, that there's a whole book, Mobilizing in Your Own Name, that is purchasable. I'm going to give that as a gift to my friend, Neil, who is doing real work. Neil is a source of information that the Daily News, that the Post, and the New York Times does not give us. And we need to build it. Every international should send him a good, nice check every year so we can have news and information. There are things that are happening that when I find out, I'm like, I didn't even know this was going on. And Neil is a resource that we need to build and multiply on and make it bigger and stronger. That being said, brothers and sisters, I thank you for the honor, Neil. I appreciate what you do and what you have done over the years. I thank you all for the service that you put in. I also want to say a shout out to your families that suffer because your asses ain't never home taking this dopey phone call with these dopey numbers we have.
whether or not these Democrats are truly the friend of labor or if they still continue to serve the boss. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Connected relatives, board members,
one board member, staff.
Staff.
Without this staff, that would be nothing. Where's Isaac? Come over here. I can't see you over here. I got one token Sicilian, he won't show up.
People like Michelle Jones, who is the next honoree, was a nurse working at the hospital. Day in and day out. I think that's something that deserves us all standing up and presenting the award for Michelle Jones is Aretha Morgan, Board of Directors at the New York State Nurses Association.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aretha Morgan. I am a registered nurse. I work here in hospital, and our union is New York Nurses Association. And I want to know, is labor in the house? Yeah! Is labor in the house? Yeah! I'm so excited here. I'm excited to present you my friend, my colleague, my sister, my fellow board member, Michelle Jones. She will accept the award on behalf of NYSA. Michelle, she has a lot of accolades. She is a registered nurse. She has a master's in nursing. She's a certified nurse practitioner. She's a delegate at large. She's on the board of directors. She's a co-chairperson for the labor bargaining unit at Flushing Hospital. She has over 40 years as a registered nurse. She works in pre-surgical testing. She works for interventional radiology. She's on critical and post-anesthesia care. She earned her Bachelor of Science in Nursing from SUNY Downstate Medical Center, and adult nurse practitioner. She got that at SUNY Stony Brook University. She is a mentor. She's committed to educating both nurses and physicians. I learn from her every day. We love you. Thank you. As a NYSA board member, Ms. Jones has been a fierce advocate for safe working conditions. She's a longtime Long Island resident and is an active community member. Like NYSA members everywhere, she cares for her community. Please welcome my friend and colleague, Michelle Jones.
Thank you all, the only lady to get an award. We work to make our vision a reality by advocating for better working and patient care conditions, building the power of frontline healthcare workers, and taking action with other union, community, and elected allies who are fighting for a better healthcare system. This is what NYSA members do every day within the borders of our state, on Long Island, in New York City, in upstate and western New York, everywhere. We are proud to be part of the strong and growing labor movement on Long Island. So many of our NYSA members either live or work on Long Island or both. We represent nurses in several facilities in the Northwell Health System, Northwell South Shore, Plainview, and Syosset. All have been working hard to bargain for fair contract for nurses where we will have the ability to take care of our patients. Many of us in this room know how difficult it can be to organize a new facility. Employer opposition and intimidation can be intense. We welcome any solidarity you can give South Nassau nurses. walk the picket line, write a letter to the editor. If you live in the hospital, or if you live near the hospital, or ever have been a patient or a family member who has been a patient at South Nassau, we could use your voice in this fight. Being here tonight is a great reminder of union power. The union is not a building that sits idly by. Each of us that are members here is a union, is the union. We make the union strong. Together we have a collective voice that will be heard what our needs are. Our numbers, our solidarity, and our diversity give us strength. No matter what industry we work in, we are united by the belief that working people have inalienable rights, and we all deserve respect and our fair share. Once again, I am thankful for this award, for the opportunity to celebrate tonight with Long Island and the greater New York labor, good health and solidarity, and thank you all. Thank you.
When I was finishing high school in 1984 down the road in Suffolk County, our last honoree was joining Local 638 as a third-generation steam fitter. I would like to welcome up our last honoree tonight, James Sheeran, President of Steam Fitters Local 638, and to present that award to James, Patty Daly.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the LaborPress for the great job they did here tonight. I'd also like to thank the Teamsters 282. I'd like to tell everybody from my heart what an honor this is to give Jim this award, because Jim has poured his heart into our local. Jim has given every day that he worked in this local a fair day shake. And even some that worked with him, like myself, got to appreciate his sense of humor, his smile, his caring of others, and that's what makes him a great organizer. As organizer, he took over as president, all right? Now that we're into this job, Jimmy's doing a fantastic job. He's just all over the place. He's everywhere you can imagine. You need something, Jimmy's there. If this mic shrinks one more time, I'm gonna kick it. I don't know how Jimmy's gonna speak. And I can't tell you what an honor it is to say that Jimmy is my friend. That's most of it. And once again, I'd like to thank you guys. Let's bring up James Sheeran.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need the mic. 19 years I was in the street as an organizer, as the elected organizer out of Steam Fitter 638. It was a proud moment for my family to go back into politics, coming as a third-generation steam fitter. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to Patty for the introduction. It's kind. I know Patty 38 years, 39 on January 1st. He's a major friend of mine, and I appreciate him. And I appreciate all my brothers and sisters that are here. I want to thank Neil Tappel, Vinnie Pitta, and the LaborPress Committee for this award. I know it's kind of shocking. As an organizer, you don't get it too much. But now I'm the president, and I have a chance to do things that we all dream about doing as a labor leader. And that's my chance, and this is my opportunity, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to make the best of it. But before I do that, I want to tell everybody to to thank each and every sponsor that we have in this room, because I didn't buy into it in the very beginning of the LaborPress, and Neil knows that. You know, we all thought in the beginning, oh, it's just another gimmick of going out and speaking about unions, you know, because we did everything, right? We controlled everything. We were the people. And somehow we lost our track. And everybody came in to come out against the unions. They took it away. We let it slip away, some of us. But we're still holding this fight because each and every one of you are in this room for this very reason, and it's the LaborPress. So to the sponsors, I thank each and every one of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep sponsoring it, because I can tell you right now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for my union. I'm going to do it for my 9,400 members. I'm going to do it for each and every one of our business agents and officers, because any chance you get of time to promote the labor movement, you'd better take it, because we don't have too many opportunities in this world right now because of what's going on in this environment. They're not out for unions. They don't want us. They don't want us to have a retirement and dignity. They don't want us to have health care, and they do not want us to make money. So this tool, and I'm going to Neil, you changed my mind. I see it because we promote our apprentices, we promote our labor leaders, we promote every single union. I have to tell you, the woman before me, Michelle, you got me moved, all right? Because I was going to come up here and say, hey, you know, save the best for last. And the best thing, the guy who goes last, he knows not what to say. You know, he doesn't, you know. No, I'm not going to say that because they didn't go over too well, right? But I'm going to tell you, hats off to you, Michelle. And hats off to each honoree tonight. Jimmy, John. I also want to thank Howard. Always the guy that's pushed off, the MC, you know, nobody says nothing, but you did a good job tonight, Howard. I want to thank each and every one of my business agents, Dan Mulligan, Pat Daly's our financial secretary. We are pushing the union movement, labor movement. We are going to put us back on the map. We are going to put and do everything we can to make sure that this union, and each every other union that's in here, to help our sponsors that are all here, thank you, that we pass this on to the next generation to make it stronger. Again, thank you. Thank you to my officers. I appreciate it. I want to also introduce my political director, Brett Thomason, because we changed. And that's part of change, is making sure that you go out and do things that better your union. And having a political director is another way to get another tool out for each and every one of our agents and officers to go out there and promote this great union and all the labor movement. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Have a good day. Come on, Neil.
Bring the team up.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday. And be careful driving home. Thank you again.